Yeah, I think if you're Rin, you're like, oh, I get to Charizard this match. You're definitely super happy with that outcome here. We see very typical pathing for what we've seen with Nemesis here. The Squavit starting top and then the tri-path bottom for both teams as expected here.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, too unique here. And I think Elo got that top contestable Audino there as our trio is working through. They're going to start getting the stacks up for themselves here as Squovit is working through this APOM and Retsu getting those points. They're like two ships passing in the night, Jeff.
Yeah, we see both these top path characters, something we haven't really called out, but these characters are playing the attack weight score items similar to Decidueye, and they score in between those knockouts because that attack weight item boosts your attack for each individual score. It does not care about the amount.
Exactly right. Playing a little bit back as Blossom, Faz on the future Blissey as well, currently Chansey of course, and now Trainer LGC pulling up to see if there's anybody to be swept off their feet here, and Rin posturing very far forward, trying to get our trio to dive and push back a little bit as they're waiting for Retsu to join into the mix here as they're all posturing around those bees, both top and bottom. Wow, it melted in the bottom lane of those bees.
Yeah, with 6 characters there, the bees disappear very, very quickly in the first big brawl of the morning. Looks like Retsu going down with a powerful hit from that frog. Greedon, can't keep getting away with it, dude. Slippery squirrel.
It can indeed, and Rin cannot be happy about that, as now Trainer LGC and Rin are going at it. Our trio has the opportunity to do kind of like a pincer maneuver on Rin, but they decide to just back off a little bit and focus on those wild Pokemon. But here's our trio, of course, in the face of Retsu and Rin, making them earn it here in this top path.
Something we'll want to watch from the Greninja player that we haven't seen a ton of play from this character yet today is when Greninja, while it's a ranged attacker, gets into those melee ranges, it cuts across for boosted damage, which is why we will see the Greninja from Nemesis frequently get up on top of opposing carries like Charizard.
Ultimately, that Greninja is protecting that Decidueye, which is that damage output in the back, right? So giving up the frog for the owl in the back. But here we go. Trainer LGC making another rotation through their central area here as Yeetfan and Rex are posturing in the middle, waiting for Az and able to get in there. And Elo just playing in their own goal zone. Not too much action here in the bottom path just yet.
The bottom pathing and secure for Nemesis is so fantastic. They consistently funnel all of this experience into the now Dartrix and soon to be Decidueye. Getting that character to level 7 before that first Dreadnought objective gives them such an incredible advantage with that Spirit Shackle attack.
Just a big surf by Rex into the bees, pushing back Blossom, and Yeetfan and Aznable are working together with their crew. But here's Trainer LGC waiting in the wings here, waiting to jump on another Pokemon if they cross too far. That's Faz AP. Look at Trainer LGC taking the front spot as they're pushing. Blossom forced to retreat a little bit, and Dreadnaught's here, and the positional advantage is going to be to Nemesis.
We see that Charizard just barely tick over to 8. Level 9 is the key marker on both Greninja and Charizard, because not only will Charmeleon evolve in the Charizard at that point, but more importantly, both these characters pick up their Unite move at that level. And whoa, huge Unite move. Speaking of here, after a Surf reset for Greninja.
Yeah, KO Shrika 2 for Trainer LGC, and that's no new news here as Rin is trying to hold their own, and they get belched on by our trio. KO Shrika 2 for the Squirrel, and here we go. Nemesis has all the onus on this Dreadnought, and they take it down very easily. Look at Yeetfan, and this is that collective push where they just chip in their points to get that attack weight up. Nemesis sticking together, playing well, getting that quick Audino there as that Spirit Shackle starts lacing into the guts of Blossom.
Yeah, we've seen this in actually every game that Nemesis has played. All 5 of them consistently stay bottom after this first Dreadnought. It allows them to not only break this point, but more importantly, get scores for the Decidueye. I don't know if you caught that there, but Charizard tried to Unite, and Slowbro just united it right back. Slowbro Unite, the just I don't care of Pokemon Unite. Regardless of what you're doing, unstoppable or not, Slowbro's going to grab you and put you in your place for a few seconds if it wants to.
What a sequence there by Nemesis, taking the Dreadnought, taking the body very well, pushing, closing out that goal zone, and then absolutely shutting down the Charizard counter pick by Rin to this Decidueye, keeping that thing up. Look at Retsu and Rin working in the middle here. They need to get their experience somehow to try and catch back up to Nemesis, who's got the slight advantage and another tick on the attack weight for Yeetfan.
Love this positioning from the Decidueye on Nemesis, waiting very cautiously in the bottom path until they get vision of all 5 of the opposing team on Blossom, and then going in to start building up those attack weight scores on the bottom path. Remember, every single time this Decidueye deposits Eos energy, its attack goes up, making those Spirit Shackles even more lethal.
Good presence here by Nemesis on that goal zone. Going to try and stem Rotom from getting in there too free. They leave Yeet Fan to the work here as the rest of Nemesis goes down to the bottom path, and they're getting ready. Look at Retsu just hanging out here. Finally, Rex gets in the mix, take care of this Rotom, but that action's going to be in the bottom path, and maybe I'm taking a look. Hoopa is already level 9. They can pull in the squad whenever they want, and they decide that's right now. Hoopa Unbound going into the action. They're putting the pressure on Mike Spam. Mike Spam getting pushed back. Artriu leading the charge. Look at Rin just catching a bunch of fists from space here, and they unite the Hoopa. The Hoopa Unbound gets taken down by the Charizard here as they keep pushing. The Decidueye's down, and now the Charizard melting through this squad, but Artriu not willing to give up, just belching all over the place. And what a presence here by Nemesis as the Dreadnought is finally getting worked on. The left side team takes it. That's Retsu with the Unite move right through.
Really incredible positioning and steal there as the Lucario kind of comes down from the top. Blossom being a little bit behind there. Their Hoopa not quite being level 9, so was unable to portal its friends down, but that's no longer a problem. Thanks to that Dreadnought, they are now unbound and they are looking to get some knockouts here.
Yeah, fortunately, Nemesis not willing to play into that particular hand, staying back a little bit, not willing to get into the mix of that Hoopa Unbound there, as Mike Spam is slowly going to go back to the itty-bitty Hoopa here, and all of Blossom resets to start getting their wild Pokemon.
It might look like that Unite move from Blossom's Hoopa didn't accrue a lot of value, but it's also important to note that even if that's the case, we're at that kind of critical 345, 354 minute mark, which is kind of that last window where most of these characters will be able to use their Unite move while also still recovering it in time to have it for that ultimate fight surrounding the Zapdos. So using your Unite move for minimal value in that time frame is, generally speaking, the correct thing to be doing.
Yeet Fan trying to line up some arrows here. Going to see if they find their mark. Just some Shadow Balls coming through. And Retsu dives right into the squad. And they're working through, sending Artriu reeling here as the Charizard's on the chase. And they take down the Squirrel, cooking it up for everybody to eat. KO streak of 2 for the Charizard here. They're ushering in the end for Nemesis. And they're going to let it burn, baby. As that Charizard looks really good. And Blossom has the lead in this top path here. And they're going to be able to get this Rotom. It's all on Trainer LGC if they want to have some sort of challenge.
Yeah, incredible series of extreme speeds there. We see the Surf on the Ranger popping off a little bit before that boosted auto on Venusaur gets to snap it right down into its place again.
Yeah, I mean, Blossom not up with these Nemesis shenanigans here. They got caught off a little, just caught a little bit off guard in the early stages of the game, but they have rallied back very strong. Nemesis about to take this Rotom uncontested here as Blossom decides they want to be in other places on the map here with just 13 seconds before Zapdos.
As we see the final stretch here closing in, Hoopa is pushed forward for both teams, able to call up that hyperspace hole at a moment's notice. Very notably, multiple 13s on Blossom sides, while only a single character above 12 for Nemesis currently.
The Hoopa Unbound sucking everybody in here, and the fight is broken out as we're watching. There's one player down. That's the Venusaur. That's a good one for Blossom, and one they would have needed. As Charizard gets the Unite move in the middle, and they're trying to burn down Rex. They find As and Able. They take them out. They're working on Rex too. KO Striga 2. Here we go. Rin actually finishing, the Hoopa actually finishing out. That's Mike Spam working that through Trainer LGC, trying to make a move with the Unite move. They're fighting through Mike Spam, but the Decidueye takes the KO on the Hoopa. Trainer LGC still working through. They're putting the pressure on Fast. The Charizard is down. The Blissey's down. The Hoopa's down. And now Nemesis is all over this Zapdos. It's up to Retsu. Are they going to be able to E-speed through? No, it's a KO by Trainer LGC on them. And then the Venusaur comes through with the Unite move. They can't finish it off. And now all of Nemesis has unlocked the goal zones and they need to push to get these points in. Elo not letting that Hoopa off the leash too soon, but Artriu getting that Hundo Burger in. And look at the Blissey trying to cut off Yeet Fan, the Decidueye, breezing right back through with those wings.
Up over 200 points now at this point. Blossom's Nemesis not over for Blossom just yet if they can put back a big push. Notably, the Unite move reset on Charizard is incredibly fast. So if it's able to clear some of these wild Pokemon and gain that charge back up, they could have a chance to push. That being said, these two Pokemon getting caught out top here could cost them as they need to get multiple 100-point scores in to get ahead in this game.
Yeah, Nemesis really bubbling up, focusing on the defense. Look at the pressure in the bottom path, though. That's Charizard and Blissey working through to try to get some points in. Retsu's picking up points and going to try and meet them. No, they're going straight for the gut goal zone here, as Rex wasn't able to keep that score in, 332 to 459. And now Retz is coming in, but here comes Retsu. Charizard Unite move on the slow, bro, and they're going to try and burn them down with that heat coming from the mouth here as Trainer LGC gets points. But look at that. Artriu on the other side of the map just getting more points in, and of course, Trainer LGC getting more KOs in. And this one, I believe, is going to go to Nemesis in game 1 of our grand finals.
Something that we saw there that we don't get to see on display particularly often in competitive Unite is Decidueye actually gets to defend that goal zone from inside the base with those spirit shackles, dude.
I mean, it looked good. It looked good in game 2 as they try and reset this bracket here in the grand finals.
Yeah, I think this will be the 6th match that we've watched Nemesis play. I believe they have had Decidueye at that first Dreadnought 7 minutes every single game so far.
It's just great work. I mean, they have a strategy and they're executing, and like you said, they're making the other teams make them change something, and so far no team has done a very good job with that. Now Rex as Enable, and of course our wonderful little Rowlet in the bottom path here, going to try and hold it down as our trio doing our trio things with that Greedent playing on the other side of the map.
Yeah, one thing that actually we didn't discuss that's a change possibility is I wonder if the Blissey is perhaps the right pick for Blossom in the bottom path there. There's notably kind of a lack of suppression on the side of the Nemesis team with their current composition, so perhaps not gaining as much value from that melee support pick as they otherwise could from something else.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. We see that experience funneling to Rex again. They want to get them to level 4. Our trio just being a menace in that top path, waiting for Trainer LGC, and there they are. I mean, our trio and Trainer LGC have been just truck and trailer through this top path at these early stages of the game, and it's looked great. Look at our trio already agreed, and they're going to get in there with a big belch and get a good portion of these bees for themselves as well.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the cast that anytime your non-Lucario Pokemon is at parity with Lucario in the early game, you're super excited. Atreyu's actually ahead of the Lucario to start here, which is no mean feat. Like, that is very impressive from our top path Greedent player here on Nemesis.
Without a doubt. Something Nemesis has done exceptionally well in the top path is also mitigate the presence of that central area player coming in to try and kind of get those cheeky KOs. Nemesis hasn't really gotten caught too many times here, and that's of course been to their advantage. That bottom path working through is our trio who's trying to put some work in on Retsu with his belches. Are they going to be able to close it out on Lucario? Just both berries going to the Greedent and they get the KO with the belch. Let's go.
It's so rude to just grab their lunch out from in front of them and just knock them out afterwards while your health bar is full and theirs isn't, dude. That being said, we actually see exactly what I talked about a moment ago with Ryan kind of showing up here early in the bottom path, pushing to give their team an advantage and try to get that Dartrix behind before it can turn into a Decidueye.
Well, they have hard work ahead of them here as that Dartrix is in the middle here getting work through. Our trio and Trainer not letting Retsu breathe up here in this top path, forcing them all the way back down the lane to that first goal zone here, and that just opens the squares up to just rain in some points, and Trainer LGC does.
Really love this positioning here from Nemesis yet again. Greedent recognizing that, oh, they're going to need me bottom path. I'm running down ASAP, while Greninja stays top for Nemesis, trying to get some more experience so it can hit that valuable level 9 threshold before this objective. Speaking of level 9, Ryan coming in as a Charizard here with that Unite move at will.
Yeah, they were just mowed down that Slowbro, and now it's Blossom with the positional advantage on that Dreadnought. Rin gonna try and keep the bubble out and keep As Enable down. They do. That's KO number 1, and Rin is seeing our trio saying, I want more squirrel on my menu today, as they're working through, but our trio is being slipped. They catch the Unite move. Talking about catching a receipt there. Our trio comes through. Elo closes it out with the Ivysaur on the Dreadnought, and just what a look by Blossom as they're moving as a unit here, crashing onto this bottom goal zone, and a surf by Rex is not gonna get it done as Blossom is one codified unit here pushing through, and they're going to try and close this thing down, maybe with Rin's 40 banger. No, forced to retreat and leaving that goal zone on just a sliver of health.
Well, it's worth noting too here, Dupe, that a lot of these teams, we've seen Nemesis explicitly break that bottom point, but a lot of these teams, given the option, choose to leave it up because all of those valuable wild Pokemon continue to spawn in the space between these goals if both goal zones are left up. So we see Blossom leaving 3 Pokemon bottom so they can continue to get more experience and get further ahead in the face of the advantage they already have against Nemesis.
Well, Nemesis, we haven't seen them lose a first Dreadnought a lot today, and they lost that one, and that kind of shifts where they have to go. The Decidueye, we saw them in the top path trying to get experience, but here's Trainer LGC, and the fight's kicking off. We're throwing in some darts here as the Belly Berry Flop here comes in by the Greed, and they're going to work through. They're going to start belching all over the place, and that's going to open up Nemesis to score some points, and here we go. The Decidueye is going to try and rain in some points if they can free it up from Blossom's presence here, and here we go. Just all the players on Nemesis on that goal zone. I'm going to try and get some points in quickly as there we go. Yeet fan. Oh no, they get sussed out and they get scored on before they can get their points in. Retsu working on Rotom alone.
Really seeing the power of Spirit Shackle in that engagement. Ryan walked up on Charizard a little bit, but it was so chunked it had to back up before it could even really take that engage for fear of another arrow coming across and knocking them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a place I'd want to be. Our trio just all over Retsu, not giving them any space to breathe here. Trainer LGC getting into the mix, and they're going to take some of these wild Pokemon again, trying to keep the levels away from Blossom. Here comes Rin, though. Charizard is not a person I'd want to mess with, not a Pokemon I'd like to mess with either, as they get their points in easily, plus 40 off the back of the Rotom, and get in there. But the Hoop Unbound pulling in the players here, and they're getting to the action. Trainer LGC, last one in, first KO to them as they're working through, eating up the Hoopa here. Elo getting caught down by our trio. They're getting belched on, and here we go. The Charizard gets a KO back on Hoopa, and now we're moving through Elo. Gonna find out Rex, gonna chip in. Our trio and LGC not gonna let it go without their presence belt either. Faz just getting in the mix as well. Everybody's chopping into each other. Nobody's taking the body. They're all working on Dreadnought, and that's Rin that seals it up for Blossom. And now the KOs start falling off the back of the experience and shields here as the Venusaur gets a KO. 3 players down for Nemesis, and what a push by Blossom.
What an incredible engagement overall. I think if you're on Nemesis' side there, you got to be shaking your head a little bit the way that objective went. You had a Surf Greninja there, you had a Greedent there, you had a Spirit Shackle Decidueye there, and somehow the Charizard, with its many small ticks, was able to secure that really valuable last hit there, giving the experience over to Blossom's team here. And we head into the 3-minute and 30-second mark here. We can see a very solid experience lead for Blossom. The higher the levels on their team, the more likely they are to win that ultimate team fight engagement before that Zapdos at the end.
I'm watching the pips for Nemesis up top. They're kind of all around that Blissey right there, and they're kind of joining up in the middle as we're going to see who's going to be on the chopping block or who these teams try to eye down to get some KOs. They're actually just kind of bubbling around each other, not willing to engage just yet, but there's the Decidueye getting 40 points downstairs as Elo, the Venusaur, going to try and cut that off a little bit, but not before another tick goes in. Yeet Fan's probably going to go down here, and not a bad spot to take a KO. If you're Nemesis, it could have been worse, but now these teams are posturing around the Rotom.
Honestly, I think if you're Nemesis's Decidueye there, Yeet Fan, you're not too upset with that knockout overall. Not only did you dunk 45 points in there, but more importantly, you got 2 attack weight stacks, which Decidueye has really been struggling to get in this match so far. The way that first Dreadnought played out, they weren't able to push up afterwards like they typically do. This Rotom's going to be walking in at a kind of inopportune time, but with the amount of damage Decidueye and Greninja are able to chunk out, they should hopefully be able to clear it no problem before the Zapdos spawns.
Kind of seems like Nemesis is going to leave that up to the Greedent and the Greninja there as all of Blossom is rotating down. Going to maybe make a move on this Dreadnought. So far, Blossom has taken every single objective in this map, Jeff.
We see not only is Rin level 14 with Charizard here, but they have 2 level 13 characters on top of that. Venusaur especially becomes an incredible monster to engage with once it hits 13. The Petal Dance just has such an incredible radius while you have speed to run people down.
Kind of like a fake bait and switch here. Nobody actually going for the Dreadnought. They're going after each other. You just hoop on bounds coming into each other here as Blossom is getting pushed back by Nemesis. Nobody's down yet. A couple buddy barriers have been melted through, and that's what it's going to come down to. Who can be left standing here as the big Surf comes in, catches a couple players, and that's a Decidueye following up with the KO here as Warrior Knights are flying. The buddy barriers are stacked up. That's 2 players down for Blossom, 3 for Nemesis. But here we go. Trainer LGC is a big carry here, but they go down to the Charizard, and Lucario takes out Hoopa, and now Blossom has all the pressure around the Zapdos here as Elo is left alone to try and mow it down. Blossom's resetting, gonna try and get some HP, but here comes the absolute menace, Greedent running through and pulling Elo's attention away, and that Zapdos is still there, which means Nemesis completely comes off respawn, and he'll have another crack at it in what I call an honest fight, because there's no Unite moves left.
Yeah, this is the re-engage. I don't think we've actually seen a re-engage like this a single time today in the tournament. Both teams kind of exhausting each other in a pretty even fight. Respawn timers come up, a couple of people reset, and Charizard going down here in the top path is huge. Time is getting short, but that should turn the battle in Nemesis's favor if they're able to convert on it.
Yeah, I mean, they're falling like dominoes on Blossom now. Their 2 attackers are just going down. Just Elo left to deal out the damage. There goes Faz. That's 3 down for Blossom. Nemesis is getting better. This extreme chainer. LGC gonna find it here. Can they take out the Zapdos in time with the full team wipe it on Blossom? That's everyone down on Blossom, and it's all on Nemesis now, as I think they're gonna get a free shot on it. The rest of their players are already going to score.
Yeah, I love this with the non-damage characters just walking up so they can get their points in and get reset with plenty of time. They know that the game is close overall. They're up by 100 points now, and Blossom basically just has to full speed run across the map. And we see a concession there, it looks like, because this match is over. I agree. Honestly, just the engages in the full team fights in the end game from Nemesis have just been so fantastic. Even that last one, Suppression, that's not really present on Team Nemesis.
Well, we're going to see how that goes as we have a little bit of a color switch here. Nemesis, for the first time today, I believe, is going to be on purple. Trainer LGC in that center area, nothing changing there.
We see our teams heading into their pretty typical split. We've got the Greedent top path for Nemesis, the engagement on the bottom starting nice and early, with Slowbro doing what it does best, which is securing last hits on those wild Pokemon with its water gun charge attack.
Yeah, Blossom going to try and prioritize getting their Vulpix into Ninetales here, and of course Nemesis to get their Slowpoke into Slowbro. Rex working back. Look at the good pressure by Blossom. Yeah, they're low on HP, but they're making moves here, and Yeet Fan able to pluck that up, and now Asenable and Rex pushing forward here, still under the status condition from that Vulpix.
Yeah, actually kind of surprised me the way that path played out. I would have expected Blossom's bottom path to be a little bit stronger and more aggressive there, but the triple muscle band on Nemesis' side, allowing them to shred their life totals from a distance, meaning they can't really afford to walk up.
Yeah, Blossom again sticking with Rin on that Charmeleon now, future Charizard here, and Retsu working in the top path. Good presence here. We're waiting for those 850 Bs. They're here working through. Our trio has been doing good about getting their positive experience there, and yet again they hit Greedent off the Bs, just like they drew it up, and Rin and Retsu are both level 5 as well, and so is the Greedent, and that's bad sledding if you're Blossom here, as they're trying to hold down this bottom lane as Enable, Yeetfan, and Rex, getting some good pressure on and contesting that Audino very well.
Yeah, the big thing I take away from looking at Nemesis' composition, how this bottom path has played out, it really feels like having 3 ranged characters in your bottom path goes a long way, regardless of what those ranged characters are. Even something like Decidueye or Rowlet, in this case currently, that's a little bit weaker early, is still phenomenal because it gets to poke in at a distance.
Without a doubt, and now Retsu are pushing on Rin a little bit. We mentioned Blissey downstairs, that was the big advantage of Eldegoss, right? The ranged attacker could get that Leaf Tornado in there, but unfortunately Blissey is not just jumping in with that damage output, which is maybe keeping them just short from being able to push and get some KOs. Our trio still playing forward, pressing forward, and Retsu just hiding in the tall grass, hanging out.
We see our players trying to figure out where exactly they are pathing their central area Pokemon to. Do they want to go top so they can be 2-2 there, or is there perhaps reason to push the advantage bottom so you can try and gain a positional advantage there before the first Dreadnought spawns at the 7-minute mark?
Absolutely. Is there any more fruitless endeavor than trying to chase down a Greedent with its cooldowns up? There is 0% chance there's anything worse. Here we go. Rex with a Surf Engage here on Elo, pushing it back. And they might have gotten that, to be honest, here, as now Blossom is trying to work their way around these bees, and Nemesis being absolutely relentless in the face of this trio.
Yeah, we see both central area characters here not being present for that 720 B spawn, instead electing to go back into their central areas, try and work their way towards that important level 9 breakpoint. Both of them still at level 8 though. Whoever can tick to 9 first could swing this battle in a big way with the Unite move that tick brings.
Big engage by Rex on Elo, trying to catch them up in the surf here. Elo working through, they're sending some Frosty Breath everywhere as we're working through. Trainer LGC eyeing up Dreadnought. Right side takes, that's a Alolan Vulpix stealing it up. 2 players on Nemesis down. Blossom's gonna push. They're gonna see if they can find our trio KO. Charizard's working on them, they do, they get it. And now all of Blossom is around that goal zone. KO Shrika 2 for Retsu as well. And that's just a good look for Blossom here in this first game of the grand finals. And we're just working through trying to get, look at Yeet Fan just being cheeky, getting some points in. They're gonna go down for that insolence here, but it looked good and they got a stack. What do you say, Jeff?
I don't know if you caught it actually, Dube, there, but they got more than 1 stack with that engagement. They kind of identified that their team was losing that Dreadnought engagement, that they would not be able to help on their own. So they instead went to go and get value somewhere else, which in this case was building up their attack weight stacks. We saw this Decidueye Yeet Fan make similar decisions in the first game, with those attack weight stacks being instrumental in their ability to win those late game team fights with the scaling off of that Spirit Shackle.
Look at that Unite move by Trainer LGC to get that Buddy Barrier up in the face of Retsu and Rin working through. Rin able to get all the bees because of that. No, Trainer LGC darting back, getting a berry, but that's going to allow Retsu and Rin to get some points in here and get a big overdunk on this top goal zone.
Look at the level differential on these teams. Level 9 is the highest on Nemesis. It is the lowest level on Blossom's side. Blossom has had a commanding position in every fight so far. They won that first Dreadnought and every subsequent engagement since.
Without a doubt, hiding in the grass, getting ready to jump on Rex. Rex is here, so is our trio. They're going to try and hold down this goal zone, but no, Blossom scores in the face because Faz has the score shield. And of course they do, as they're getting ready to get around this Dreadnought here in 20 seconds. Heat fan working on Rotom alone, as they're always tasked to do, it seems.
Okay, Nemesis's Hoopa has finally ticked level 9 just in time to be able to portal all of their friends down for this Dreadnought. That being said, the lack of an outer point here for Nemesis means they're at an incredible positional disadvantage here.
Double Hoopa Unbound coming through, Unite moves flying. Those fists are going, and of course we're watching those purple lasers hit all over the map here. And Trainer LGC bubbling out. They're trying to find out where their KOs are going to come from. Decidueye's already down, and Blossom's working through here. We have a couple more Unite moves going, as that's a Unite move by the Lucario coming through Retsu, and now there's 3 players down on Nemesis. Make that the 4th as Decidueye just comes off spawn, and Blossom has the onus around this Dreadnought. Lucario with the KO Streak of 2, of course. KO Streak of 2 for the Ninetales. That switch is paying off immediately, and yeah, Slowbro gets a Hoopa, but now this this Dreadnought is going to be worked through by Rin, the Charizard, and they're going to take it down, pushing forward this level advantage.
Really fantastic engagement from Rin on Charizard there. I don't know if you caught it, dude, but they united the Slowbro, but then immediately used the mobility from their fly to dive into that Decidueye on the backline, acknowledging the fact that, hey, the Slowbro really doesn't matter in this engagement. We need to take down your damage carries.
Great Unite move by Nemesis to carve a path through Blossom and unlock this goal zone for some scores as Trainer LGC gets a KO Streak of 2 themselves. KO Streak of 3. Excuse me, that Greninja's slippery and it's sliding in for those KOs, but Retsu's going to get a 50 banger on the backside.
We still do not have any level 13 Pokemon for Nemesis yet, and the second level 13 is now present on Blossom's team. The rest of the level differentials closing a little bit between the rest of the team, but we're at that 3-minute and 30 mark past here, and this is a point where you really want your damage carries to be scaled up if you're going to have a chance in that endgame engagement.
Yeah, we're going to see how they engage into this in this Rotom area here, and any KO for Nemesis is a good one because they're getting a lot of experience on the back end. They're not giving up as much, which is good. Archery using their Unite move, belching all over the place, but they don't have the damage output or the defense to stay up as they're taking down Big Surf by Rex to try and free up this goal zone as the Rotom is getting ready to tick in. It'll close that thing out if they're able to get it here, but look at Rex actually chipping back into the Rotom, sending it the other way here, and as nobody has officially claimed the Rotom, it was just getting pulled down the lane pretty far, and now Rin and Faz are in the mix trying to get all over Rex. And now what's going on with this Rotom? It's just been hanging out. I was like, what's up, guys? I'm here too.
Greninja going down in the central area for Nemesis here. Highest level Pokemon for Nemesis, giving some valuable experience to the now 3rd level 13 Pokemon for Blossom, while Decidueye has just barely ticked 12 on the Nemesis side.
Yeah, Nemesis just forced to play into this Rotom here as all of Blossom is across the map, picking up just their wild Pokemon, gaining that experience, and going to get this Dreadnought for free. There's no way Nemesis can contend here. They're going to have to make some sort of high-level Zapdos play.
Every single Pokemon on Blossom's side of the board has their plus attack. Charizard has ticked level 15. I would be very surprised if Blossom does not win this endgame engagement. As I say that, Slowbro has an incredible Unite move holding down this Charizard.
Yeah, the Hoopas are unbound. The Unite move comes through and picks somebody up here. I believe it's the Charizard. Charizard used their Unite move back on the Hoopa here as we're playing forward. No players down. The Buddy Berries are doing their work here. Our trio circling all the way back around, but here they go. Nemesis is starting to fall like dominoes as the pressure is going to become a little too much. These levels are just a little too high, and Blossom is going to start ripping through this Zapdos. Ninetales with another KO Streak of 2 as they're leaving the Ninetales to close out the Zapdos because they're trying to catch our trio. Full team wipe. Blossom's getting this for free.
Yeah, I think this team battle kind of played out in as textbook as a way as you can get for an endgame Unite team battle. One of these teams had an incredible level differential heading into it. They secured every objective before this. They won that fight. There was no flip. This game at no point was ever out of control for Blossom.
A great presence across the map, and it looks like Nemesis may have awoken the sleeping giant here as Blossom takes this one commandingly, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't want to call a game before it's done, but we don't, even if everyone on Nemesis's side dunked every point they have right now, they would not surpass Blossom's score, and Blossom is actually running over to start capping themselves at this point. which means their lead's just going to be increasing even further.
As an Abe, we're going to try and keep Faz from scoring, but Faz is essentially just playing games at this point, just hanging out. Like, I'm not going to try and score. Like, if you'll let me, cool. If not, you know, totally cool, whatever. We're up by 500 plus points, almost 600 points. Not a big deal. Nemesis, on the other hand, they don't have enough time if they all went to score anyways, and they don't even have full pockets regardless. So our trio just going to let's see if I can line up a couple KOs here in garbage time, maybe get some more points in. They don't. Good pressure back by Blossom to keep them from doing that, and Blossom is going to take game 1 in the grand finals reset.
Yeah, okay, and I really like the change that we saw there from Blossom in terms of composition swap up. Changing that Venusaur out for a more aggressive early game character like Alola and Ninetales, really playing out there, allowing them to secure the first Dreadnought at every subsequent objective. A lineup like this, because it would possibly let the Decidueye get a dunk with that attack weight item extra early.
Well, here we go. Grand Finals reset game 2. Blossom going to try and put an end to the shenanigans that has been the unique composition of Nemesis here as Trainer LGC is starting to work through their central area.
Okay, the big thing to watch here after we see this contest of the Audino and the bottom path here is, where do these central area Pokemon end up at? Do they continue just going top as we've seen, or will we see a little bit of a change here as we see Hoopa for Blossom secure a lot of these last hits here? Bunch of Audinos getting an early lead for Blossom in this bottom path.
Yeah, good work by them there as Retsu's working through, and here comes Trainer LGC to put some pressure on Retsu. They're going to the top path, no changes. They're going to support our trio, and it looks like Rin is going to finish up their rotation and end up there as well. But Trainer LGC on the chase, finally sending Retsu scrambling, who makes a quick curl and back towards their top goal zone.
Well, it looks like not a lot was accomplished there by the push from the Froakie on that Lucario. You'll note that Lucario's passive did end up getting procs there. That shield came up, it got that little bit of movement speed boost, and it won't have that now while that is on cooldown.
Yeah, especially with the bees here and our trio coming through, and Greedent again on the bees. That's been the order of the day for that squirrel for sure, as they're going to quickly blow by and try and get some points. And no, they're scrambling all the way down the path. They're leashing Blossom along to try and open themselves up and force them into just not doing what they should be doing, which is scoring and getting experience. And I was going to say, please don't tell me our trio makes it out of this one. Retsu finally just catching them just like a snake in the grass.
Atreyu's ability to line up their tackles in between extreme speed ticks against a level 5 Lucario is so incredibly impressive. I think most players would not be able to hit those last hits in between as consistently as Atreyu does.
Oh, it's just an absolute clinic anytime they're on the sticks with Greedent, that's for sure. Retsu getting the points up top. A Trainer LGC and our trio going to stop that nonsense. As our trio dives in on Retsu, here comes Rin for the support. That forces our trio back, saying I'm not ready to take a KO just yet. And of course, the Charmeleon rotates back into their central area. Yeet Fan, that Dartrix already going to start working through the Pokemon in the middle, and Fast can kind of try and stem that and not let them get off the rails too quick, because we know that's what Nemesis is trying to do. And the fight is kicking out downstairs as Trainer LGC joins the mix as Greninja. They're pushing. Rex is kind of caught in the middle. They're low on HP. They get mowed down by the Ninetales here, and now Nemesis is forced to retreat because they don't have that big body up front, and as an Able just has to say, okay, let's slow it down, folks. We've got the bees coming up in 5 seconds, and then a Dreadnought.
Yeah, we see really interesting rotations for a number of characters here. Greninja going back into their own center path, but Greedent poking into the opposing central area while the Lucario goes back up top to clear bees. Notably, this Charizard is not particularly close to 9, which is one of the ways they kind of push their advantage here in the bottom. And Charizard did not go back into their central area to clear those buffs again, so I would imagine Greninja is closer to 9 than they are.
Yeah, that's for sure. Dreadnought's here. We're going to see how they posture. Blossom has a little bit of a positional advantage, but that big surf is going to change that quickly. They're in the face of Rin. Rin working through, backing up as the Charmeleon here. Nobody's into Dreadnought. Nobody's in each other's faces yet as Rin tried to push the pressure on, but Retsu decides not to. No, they back out, but Blossom's all over the turtle here. They're trying to smother it, and Rin takes it off the Charmeleon, and that gives them Charizard, which means that Unite move is unlocked. Are they going to use it here to try and pick off a player here? They're just slowing flames everywhere. There it is. We're going to catch some receipts on that slow, bro. Good night, sir. As they're working back up the path using the fly, taking another KO here. And that Charizard is feeling it, Rin is feeling it, and what a time for this Pokemon to be heating up.
Yeah, Charizard there really flexing the power of its Unite move, getting to dive into a massive group of opposing Pokemon and push all of them out here. That being said, look at this Decidueye. This is one of those kind of change-ups we talked about being possible for Nemesis here. Same characters, but Decidueye's positioning here is very different after this Dreadnought, going up to the top path to get some of those dunks in to try and scale up its very valuable attack weight.
Yeah, it may have gotten a couple ticks, but it certainly cut the receipt for that. Retsu says the top path is mine, stay out of here. As Blossom is defending their bottom goal zone with 4 in the face of 3. Here comes our Tree, who's going to try and put the pressure on here with a little bit of belch, but forced back quickly as Rin is getting into the action and leading the charge forward. Mike Span and team pitching in and just throwing some shields from the back, just throwing some bombs from the back. Yeet Fan, though, with that Spirit Shackle, going to try and find its mark. No KOs there, but good enough to force Blossom back.
The next engagement is going to be rough if everybody shows up. Look at the incredible level differential, not only between the supports and the bottom path attacker, but there is a 2-level difference between Lucario and Greedy currently. And this Lucario is definitely maxed on its attack weight stacks at this point, so it is supremely scaled up to deal lots of damage with extreme speed.
Yeah, we already see Nemesis kind of rolling into the top path near that top goal zone here, almost giving up Rotom uncontested, and they know it's going to be there, so they're going to be there to catch it. Let's see how far Retsu wants to drive this thing in. Are they just going to posture around and try to get some core fish? No, they circle back in, and Yeet Fan is on the scene, and so is Rex. And Retsu's probably just going to dip out and say, yeah, all right, Rotom's not free here, so I'm going to back off and make them deal with it. But here's Dreadnought.
Yeah, that Rotom creating very powerful positional advantage on the map, putting pressure on that top goal zone, allowing Blossoms to get ahead in this bottom. And oh, we see the big drawback of Charizard here. Its Unite move is good, but you need to have the ult from that Blissey saving the Charizard despite the fact that it got unstoppable. Supreme teamwork from Blossoms there.
Yeah, Nemesis came out, tried to put Blossom on the back foot. They opened up that portal, but it's the KO streak of 3 for the Ninetales as the Charizard was able to make it out with the help of Blissey here. And they close out the bottom goal zone. So what started off looking really shaky, man, did it turn in their favor very quickly as Blossom has to be feeling good, up by 140 X points here in the Grand Finals reset, already up a game, and those levels are looking fresh too.
Yeah, more important than these points, dude. This level differential was already large, and it's only getting larger. Second, level 13 ticking up on the level board for Blossom, and a single level 11 being the top of Nemesis here.
Yeah, Rin working on the beats, Retsu scoring downstairs, Blossom is splitting Nemesis all over the map here and getting the best of it every which way, as that's a Unite move onto As Enable, and they are eaten up immediately. Yeet Fan's going to be the next one, and we have a type advantage here, my friends, as that Charizard is just coughing flames all over the poor Decidueye, and that's a KO streak of 2, as they're going to get 50 points into the top goal zone, because Rex is going to show up too late to stop it.
Wow, this is a over 250 point differential between these teams. We're getting to a spot where even if Nemesis is able to win or flip a Zapdos at the end here, they're going to have to win a really decisive engagement, or they are not going to be able to win despite getting the last objective.
Yeah, Nemesis pushing really hard here, trying to get those KOs into the over-leveled Blossom squad here to get their good share of experience. Faz going to try and hold down this goal zone here. A good surf by Rex, chips them out, and they'll be able to get a couple points in here, and they really want to dispatch this goal zone effectively. But here's Blossom pulling up. They close it out with a 50-banger from Greninja. That's a good look here, and that's a good start for Nemesis if they're going to try and find their footing in Game 2.
Yeah, we've got 2 different objectives coming up here. We've got a Rotom spawning top shortly, and we've got a Dreadnought coming up right now. It looks like Nemesis has secured that Rotom top, but Blossom has enough damage they should be able to clear this no problem before Zapdos comes up, I imagine.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. Look at all the wild Pokemon on Nemesis' side of the map here. They're going to want to work through that and prioritize that, I think, over Dreadnought for sure. There's only 10 seconds left, not a lot of presence there, and it looks like Nemesis has already given up on it. This is going to come down to Zapdos, and Nemesis needs to flip this, unlock those goal zones, and get some points in.
Yeah, we see 2 level 14s on the side for Blossoms, and not even a second level 13 for Nemesis just yet. Here's that end fight engagement. Can Decidueye put something together? Poking from a distance like this, they're getting chunked, but there goes the Slowbro, taken down by the incredibly powerful Lucario.
Yeah, a Hoop Unbound coming unleashed here, and they're going to work through as Mike Span moves forward. Here we go. Belly flop by our tree. Going to work through 2 players down for Nemesis. Blossom can see the finish line now. They're working through. Hoopa trying to make a difference, pushing it back in the face of Retsu. Getting a KO. Charizard back into the Greninja, eating him up for dinner. Nom, 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 nom. And here we go. Blossom's feeling it. They're knocking down those players from Nemesis. Still just Lucario down. A great look for Blossom here. Pushing. But now Nemesis is coming off respawn. We might have a battle reset for the Slowbro. Surf gets a KO on the Ninetales. Such a potent player for Blossom. And now Rex is getting caught. They get KO'd by the Blissey. What? As Faz is chasing down Asenable, Decidueye gets the KO on the Hoopa, and I don't even know who the advantage is, as these teams seem to be resetting. No, Nemesis takes it. That's what they needed, but Faz is going for the back cap, and I'm trying to watch the purple pips work across their screen here, because they're gonna have to get in all the points, Jeff.
I don't even know if they need all of the points, dude. They just need 200 dunks, and hopefully that is all they need, because it looks like that's all they are going to get here. That being said, most of Nemesis is alive, and they're going to be able to play defense here. Let's see how successful they are as Charizard and Lucario close in on this top point. Charizard's Unite reset is quite fast, and I would not be surprised to see it pop off here momentarily on one of these points.
Elo, Rin, and Retsu moving together. They got one shot at this, 26 seconds on the clock. They're moving forward as a unit. The Unite moves are going to fly. They're going to get those Buddy Berries up, and they got to try and score. The Flame hits the goal zone we're working through. Mike Spam getting picked off and getting KO'd by the opposing Hoopa here. Great presence by Nemesis. Blossom, where are you? I need your help, says Rin. They need to get some points in. There they are, 384. Retsu up top. Retsu up top. Is the Greedon
58 from the Greedon. I actually don't know who's ahead. I think Nemesis might have pulled this out. Wait, the Blissey is going to score. Does it go?
38. Does it go in?
If the Blissey goes, I think that's it, dude.
Where are we? If the plus 38 goes in, I think you're right, Jeff. I think the battle math works out. I'm holding with bated breath. Here we go. Blossom wins! Blossom wins! Blossoms bloom in March, baby! NA March Finals champions are Blossom.